Day, World Ocean Day, where we try and understand more about the ocean and try out ways in which we can deal with it more effectively. Just to be clear, guys, I'm not a scientist, but you're during the day, I guess you'll be hearing from lots of different scientists. But I was asked to tell you a little bit about what we do, and I'm going to show you a video in a second, which I understand will be a little bit jerky, hopefully not too jerky. But so I have a business called Lindblad Expeditions, and what we do is we take people all over the world on small ships and expose them to nature, basically, and wild places like the Antarctic and the Arctic and the Amazon and the Galápagos Islands, and basically all over the world. And part of what we want to do is help people understand the world better. Hopefully people from our generation you know, might begin to do a bit of a better job in terms of how we are dealing with the ocean and nature in general. So it's a wonderful, beautiful world out there, but there are a lot of issues and a lot of problems, and I'm sure you'll be hearing about them or have heard about them in the past, and we'll be hearing more about them today. And it's kind of our job in many ways to try and figure out what can we do to pass on a world to you guys when you become adults that is as healthy as possible, right? And I believe firmly that travel and exposure to these places helps a great deal in that regard, because it means that people wind up thinking differently about these places as a consequence of having had experiences there. So let me show you a brief video. I have to get my technical expert here, which will give you just a very, very quick video, which will give you an idea about what we do around the world.
All right, looking forward to it. Just a reminder, when you do share screen, pick the first option to share your whole screen, the whole desktop. That works the best.
No, hold on a second. Oh, here you go.
Sorry.
Now can't find the share button.
That's no big deal. I can walk you through it. So if you move to the left of the screen, the video screen, the second option down in the menu is a green. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, actually, because I already set up the video, okay, let me test up, okay.
Okay, good so
Can you see the
far.
desktop now?
I see me, and now you just have to pull the video up.
I'm doing it right now.
Perfect.
And then the investors. Can you see it, Joe?
I can hear loud and clear.
This is why you travel halfway across the globe. This is what you come to see in hopes that it'll always be here.
It's the magic of travel.
We have found orgasms.
Oh my God.
Quite amazing.
It is pretty much beyond words, so worth it.
It's absolutely sensory overload.
Totally overwhelmed, even a little bit scared. As if the crew here, the captain has cued the bears, cued the whales, incredible, magical experiences.
They came right up to our ship. It's the trip of a lifetime.
Naturalists on board are so passionate about their subject matter. It's fantastic.
Oh!
More, there's more.
For the next 2 hours, we were just in and amongst these dolphins. They were leaping everywhere. I don't think I'll ever stop talking about this day for the rest of my life.
Unbelievable. Once in a lifetime, I've got the chill.
This particular minke whale came to our zodiac, and the whale just continuously circled us. Just one of these incredible encounters that you once in a lifetime experience.
I'm so excited that we get to see this baby. It's really exciting.
I am standing in front of the third largest ice shelf in the world. It's amazing!
It's the pictures that we see in National Geographic that all of a sudden we're watching with our own eyes.
absolutely amazing. What a cool clip to show what Lindblad Expeditions does. That's phenomenal.
So, okay, so you...
Oops, sorry.
And if you just click the green button again, you'll be back. There we go.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Perfect. Sven, I didn't get a chance to do the full intro, but what I'll tell students is that you founded something called Special Expeditions in 1979, and now it's Lindblad Expeditions. So an innovative travel company offering marine-focused expeditions on small vessels. And in 2004, you formed the alliance with the National Geographic, and the expeditions that you do offer around the world are quite amazing. And the way you're able to show people the world, I always think about the quote from Jacques Cousteau that you only protect what you know, you protect what you love and what you know. And I think that's what you're really doing for people is opening the world for them and taking them places they never dreamed of going.
Yeah, and then you could add to that, what you know is what you're taught, and so that learning about these things beginning at a very young age matters a great deal, because you begin to think about all these things differently. And certainly when I was a kid, environmental studies or anything really to do with the environment was not taught at all. And to the degree that accelerates throughout school systems, I believe that's a very important thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can just imagine some of the stories you have from some of the trips you've taken in the past. Is there one or two that maybe come to mind?
Well, it's what's interesting about being in the wild is, for example, I'll give you. I've been to Baja California, which is in Mexico. Are the students from Mexico here?
No, they didn't make it in yet.
Oh, they didn't make it in yet. In any case, it's a really wonderful part of the world. Probably one of the best places in the world to see whales. And I've been there at least 50 times in my life as an expedition leader and just exploring the region in one form or another. And every single time it's different. And a couple of times ago, or when I was there most recently, I went to a place called Cabo Pulmo. And Cabo Pulmo is a very, very small marine reserve. It's been protected as the no-take zone for 20 years or so. And while much of the sea has been overfished and a little bit denuded, this small patch of protected area is just full of vibrant sea life, large fish, great aggregations of jacks. And it just was a great example of what can happen in even a very, very small piece of geography if people are committed to protecting it. But there was a little clip in that film about those dolphins. I don't know if you remember it, but we were in the Sea of Cortez. We were going to this particular island, and all of a sudden in the distance I saw this aggregation of dolphins, probably at least several thousand. And we put down the Zodiacs and we went in amongst them, and I literally have never been in a situation where I was looking up at a dolphin, because they were just cavorting around us for, like, we were there for at least 3 hours. And I have never seen people react so strongly to an experience. I mean, it's just, every now and then you have these sort of pinnacle moments when you're out there where something so extraordinary happens that you will never forget it for the rest of your life. But I could go on and on and on, and we don't have time for that. But one of the things that I think is important, I'm going to show you a clip in a minute, and then is that by taking people out here, we also have an opportunity to get our guests engaged in supporting conservation efforts. So we have a fund together with National Geographic, the Lindblad National Geographic Fund, and this clip I'm going to show you is about a program called Pristine Seas, which was developed by a young scientist who came out of Scripps Institute and really, really wanted to change the trajectory of ocean systems by focusing on creating large marine protected areas around the world. And the way he does it is he and his team, they go and they explore an area, and then they create media around that, and then they use that media to lobby governments to agree to create large no-take marine protected areas. And he's been extraordinarily successful. And it's a great example of conservation that is highly productive, highly strategic. And for all of you kids, one of the key ingredients is going to be media. How do we take, hello Mexico.
They made it.
I was talking about the Sea of Cortez, Baja California, Mar de Cortez. I hope you guys have a chance to go there. It's a beautiful part of your country. But in any case, one of the things we need to do is figure out how to leave large areas of the ocean alone so that they can regenerate and create resilience. And one of the, I don't know how many of you are thinking about getting into media, possibly in your future lives, but being able to communicate and make people understand why these places are important is a big deal and a really, really important endeavor. So just something you might want to give some thought to. But let me just show you this clip, and then we can talk about it further. Lana, I have to get Lana to come back here. You're like, Vana?
I had the pleasure of checking this clip out the other day. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a very, very wonderful summary of the project. It's very cool. You guys are going to enjoy this.
Okay, she's having trouble getting it. Can you trigger it from there?
No.
No.
We need to do it from here.
Okay.
That's okay. Good thing.
Why can't technology be easier?
We've had our share of struggles this morning. We're running so many Hangouts. It's, you know, a few of them have gone just beautifully smoothly. We've had to put out a few fires here and there, but at the end of the day, making these connections is what's important. So if we have to battle
She's
technology,
clicking the green button, and it's not responding.
The screen share doesn't work.
Okay. Well, you know what? If you give me 30 seconds, I can probably pull it up on my end because I have a copy of it that was sent to me.
Great.
So, there it is.
Okay, he's doing it.
Okay, here.
Okay, so I'm just opening on my end. It's just going to take a second, and then I'll pop the password in. There we go. Okay, so you're going to see my screen share in a second, boys and girls, and I'm going to play this video for you. And I think you're gonna enjoy seeing the work that Pristine Seas is doing. So there we go. You should see my screen now, and there's the video, and here we go.
Good job.
When I was in my 20s, I remember swimming amongst fields of elkhorn coral, surrounded by sharks and large fish, and I just thought that was normal. Well, it isn't anymore.
Growing up on the Mediterranean coast of Spain, I was fascinated by Jacques Cousteau's films. He showed us such underwater richness, large fish, healthy reefs, sharks. When I went swimming in the Mediterranean, in the same sea, I didn't see any of that. The Mediterranean was almost dead. In the mid-90s, I went back to the Mediterranean that I knew as a child. The first dive I did on a small marine reserve that had been protected for over 10 years. Everything that Cousteau showed us was there. That day I know that if we are able to protect places, marine life will come back.
We've got to ensure that there are places, not just a few, lots of them, where corals thrive, where large fish live, where the system is in balance.
Only 1% of the ocean is protected. 99% of the ocean where there is fishing, it's like a debit account. Everybody withdraws, but nobody makes a deposit.
Why would we allow our generation to preside over the bankruptcy of our ocean?
There are still a few places that are untouched. Places that look like the ocean of 1,000 years ago. These places are the only baselines we have to understand what we have lost, but most important, they are a blueprint to help us determine what type of future we want. In the last 5 years, we have visited 9 of the most remote places in the ocean. And we have inspired leaders to protect 5 of them, some of the largest marine reserves on the planet. Our goal for the next 5 years is to target the 20 most pristine places left in the ocean. Together with our partners, our team is going to build the largest ocean legacy in human history.
Enrique Sala and his team, they are heroes. They are heroes of our planet.
Creating large marine protected areas and managing them effectively will not only preserve unique marine life forever, but also it will provide the resilience that we need for a healthy ocean. They are the most valuable gems left on our planet.
If we just don't disturb it all the time, if we don't withdraw from it all the time, if we don't destroy it all the time, it will regenerate itself. We just need to give it time.
All right, so I'm coming back. There we go, and I just love that clip. I love the hope that it brings, that there are still pristine places that we can protect, and I love that it shows, you know, our oceans are resilient. If we do give them a chance, they will come back. So I hope that played okay for you guys, but it's a really good picture of what Pristine Seas is doing, and it's very important work.
Well, thanks, Joe. It is important work, and there have been several additions to that in terms of creating marine reserves since that film was done. The most recent is a large 1/3 of the Galápagos Marine Reserve, and you'll be there in the not too distant future. Has been declared now a no-take area, which is hugely. This is the most biodiverse area in the world for sharks in particular, and a real treasure, a crown jewel of ocean environments. So I'm very, very happy to report that happened in March.
That's awesome. That's stories like that are what we need to hear more of, and I think this project is going to go a long way to making that happen. The idea of going out, getting the footage, and showing it to the masses so they can see, look at. You don't always get to see that far away, right? And some of these places. So bringing that to people is what's going to make a difference. Very cool.
Yes, and bring it to the political leaders around the world who make these decisions, who you know often have very, very conflicting issues that they have to contend with, and they need to have strong arguments. And they're the people who can make those arguments in the strongest possible way will make a difference.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I just want to mention before we jump to Q&A, so there will be lots of teachers viewing today live and afterwards. If you haven't heard of the Grosvenor Teacher Fellowship, it's an amazing program for educators around North America who are opening their classrooms to the world and sharing geographic literacy. It's an amazing gift that Sven has passed on through this partnership with National Geographic. So each year, a handful of teachers are selected based on what they're doing in the classroom to meet each other, share ideas, collaborate for getting really important science and geography into the classrooms, and then it culminates in an expedition to somewhere like Svalbard or the Galápagos or Antarctica, and From there, we build our learning, we share it with our communities, and it grows from there. So I was absolutely honored to be selected this year and to be heading to the Galápagos on board the Endeavour. And I highly suggest this December, any teachers watching, check it out, look for the applications, and it's sure to be an experience of a lifetime. So Sven, thank you for doing things like that, realizing that by gifting things like this, it can have a huge ripple effect. So you know, a group of people can now go out and spread what they've learned and what they've seen and get students and other educators passionately involved. So I thank you for that. We're going to jump to our first classroom, so I'll introduce the classrooms really quickly. We have 5th grade D students from Colegio San Patricio in Monterrey, Mexico. Mrs. Ross's 6-7 class from Hickson Central School in Hickson, Ontario. From Farmington, Missouri, we've got the Farmington Elementary Zoology class. Joining us as well, we have some primary and junior students in Calgary, Ontario, at the Westmount Charter School. And we also have students in Freehold, New Jersey, Mrs. Blessing's grade 7s at Laura Donovan. So let's get a mic open. Mrs. Ross, your mic's open if you guys have a question for Sven.
Go to. Yeah, go. Go in. Go up to the screen. Go to the screen.
What is the main reason for wildlife loss in the ocean?
Did we?
I'm not sure.
We might have frozen for a second. Let's see. Sven, did you?
What is the main reason for wildlife loss in the ocean?
Okay.
Oh, there's Sven. Sven, the question was, what's the main reason for wildlife loss?
Sorry, that was freezing up there. I didn't get the question.
He was wondering, what's the main reason for wildlife loss?
I'm not hearing you either.
Oh. Can you hear me now, Sven?
Funny. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. So he was just wondering, what's the main reason for wildlife loss in our oceans?
Well, it's overfishing is a primary one. I mean, just to put a number, World Wildlife Fund wrote an article recently where they suggested that there was $23.5 billion of illegal fishing on an annual basis, on top of the legal fishing, which is probably too much, or definitely too much in the first place. So fishing, ocean acidification, which is carbon going into the ocean and bleaching reefs, pollution. So we're hitting it on so many different ways, but I think the big is overfishing.
Okay, great question. Let's go to our zoology class in Missouri. Mrs. Dillon, your microphone's on.
Okay, thanks. We have a question, Caitlin.
I want a question.
There you go. Right there.
What is the most fun animal you have seen when diving?
Can you hear us?
Sorry,
what was the most fun? What was the most fun animal? Was that the question?
Yes.
Oh, I'd say the most fun animal are sea lions, and swimming with them. That is just unbelievably fun because they're so playful and they swim right up to you and they blow bubbles in your face, and it's like playing with a big Labrador underwater.
That's cool. Thank you.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Thank you.
Calgary, Alberta. I'm going to turn your microphone on if you guys have a question. I love your scenery, by the way.
Oh, great. How many people are usually involved in one of your expeditions?
It depends. We have ships that range from 48 guests to 150 guests, depending on the geography. So it's all over the map. By the way, it's nice to see Nemo there. Hi, Nemo.
Yes, we do have there are some classrooms where they don't have permission, so they come up with creative scenes like this for us to see, so we're not bored.
Good.
All right, New Jersey, grade 7s, your microphone is on.
Yeah, that's you. Hey Joe, how are you?
How has this changed your perspective on the way you see nature?
Sorry, can you repeat that, or somebody repeat that?
How has this changed your perspective on the way you see nature?
How does this? Well, I mean, I grew up from a young age having a lot of respect for nature. I spent 6 years in East Africa as a young adult, couple of years photographing elephants, and so it's really deeply ingrained that nature is not only important but deserves to have a bright future and deserves to be protected. And so when I travel these days and I see anything that has to do with our treating nature badly or endangering it in any shape, way, and form, it gets me really riled up, to be honest. And I want to try and figure out, and I spend a lot of time thinking about that more or less every day. What is it that we can do to make our relationship as human beings with nature better, so that we have greater respect and greater understanding and a more protective attitude about it?
All right, that was a great question, guys, and Sven, a great answer, because I think that's a lot of people are wondering and thinking, what is it that we can do? And I think we're slowly starting to get some of those answers coming in now. And last but not least, we have our class joining us from Monterey. I'm so glad you guys were able to get into the Hangout today. And your mic's on.
Hi. What has been the most exciting experience in the ocean for you?
I think, by the way, my best friend lives in Monterey, Lorenzo. He heads up an organization called the Fund for the Conservation of Nature in Mexico. So if you see him, say hello. The most exciting thing, well, I've had so many exciting experiences. I think one of the most exciting was when I first went to the Antarctic and got into the ice. And it took us 2 days breaking through the ice to reach the Antarctic continent. And I couldn't believe that everywhere I looked there was nothing but ice and penguins and seals and beautiful mountains in the distance. And I think that was certainly amongst the most exciting in my life.
All right, well, Sven, first of all, thank you so much for spending part of your World Oceans Day with us and sharing a little bit about the amazing company you founded, the experiences you're bringing to so many people, and also pristine seas. I think that's definitely something I hope the classrooms dig a little deeper into, because there is a lot of good work going on around the world. We hear the negative all the time on the news, but it's so good to have a chance to share the positive stories like you did with us today.
All right, thank you, Joe, and thanks, kids. Have a great day. Celebrate World Ocean Day.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do, Sven, is I'm going to turn the microphones on, because it's always fun at the end to let the classroom say goodbye and thank you. And so I'm turning them on right now, guys, if you want to say goodbye. So there we go, Sven, right across North America, Canada, and Mexico. So thanks, everybody. It was an absolute pleasure to be hanging out with you today. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your school day with us. And like we've been sharing today, today's World Oceans Day, but we should make every day World Oceans Day, because it's that important. We need to protect it. So again, Sven, thanks so much, and hopefully we speak again soon.
Thank you, Joe.
All right,
Bye.
Signing off for today. Thanks, everybody.